So to make it personal, we have to go to the past. Because when we first meet Lazarus, Martha, and Mary, it's in the past. And we read about them, the very first time we read about them, is they have a dinner party with Jesus. And this is where Martha and Mary are serving, specifically Martha, and Mary is sitting at Jesus' feet. And Jesus is teaching Mary. Martha's upset. Make her get up and help me. This is ridiculous. I'm doing all the work here, and she's sitting on her butt. I like that they had this kind of past development of a relationship. And not only did they have Jesus come over for dinner, but then when you read in John chapter 11, this is all in the past. In John chapter 11, it says Martha and Mary knew that their brother was sick, and they sent to Jesus. And they said to Jesus, the one whom you love is sick. So they have this past, ongoing, developing relationship with Jesus. And when we think about this, I'm going to give you some application here in a little bit, because I think we could all go back and look at our past and find Jesus' fingerprints on our past. But I also say this as well. Not only is there a past history, and we have that in the past, just what God has done, but I also want you to consider this as well. Because with Jesus, that moved from the past, and Martha, Mary, and Lazarus were very personal with Jesus. They had a personal connection. It wasn't some religious, Jesus showed up and they had this pious, kind of distant, like social distancing, disconnect and like don't touch him, 6 feet distance. They had a very personal connection with Jesus. And you can see that personal connection by the way they interacted with him. By the way Jesus came, and when they summoned him, they said, the one you love, he's sick, and Jesus came. And I like what happens because you see Jesus responding. You see Jesus responding to Mary as Mary is sitting at his feet, listening the very first time that he comes for dinner at their house. You see Jesus responding in a personal way with Martha. Martha, stop being so worried about stuff. And you see the very personal relationship that Jesus has with Lazarus, because in John chapter 11, you see that Lazarus in chapter 12, Jesus comes over to their house for dinner. Again, Jesus is like a repeat guest. And I want to say this to you, that even in this season, Jesus can be a repeat guest, and you can have very personal connection with Jesus no matter what's going on around you. We can maintain, and cultivate that personal connection. Because Lazarus, at that second supper they had him over, it says Lazarus was leaning up against Jesus as Jesus was eating dinner, as they were all around the table eating. There's a very personal connection.